The second play of Christ's offense is the power play. That's to allow God to demonstrate His power through your influence and weakness. We're all weak and we're all defective, and we all have influence. If you humble yourself, God can work through us. I want to read to you 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verses 7 through 10, but I want to set it up by going to summarize what verses 1 through 6 mean. Paul has a vision of a person that goes to the third heaven, paradise. And basically says that he knows about it, but he doesn't want to brag about that. He'd rather brag about his weaknesses. So verse 7. Because of the surpassing greatness of the revelations, for this reason, to keep me from exalting myself, there was given me a thorn in the flesh, a messenger of Satan to torment me, to keep me from exalting myself. Now Paul was on the road to Damascus. He was persecuting Christians. He was a Jewish zealot that knew the law. He knew it better than the Pharisees that Christ preached to most of the time in the New Testament. Paul was a tough dude. He was whipped 3 times by the Jews, 39 lashes. According to my cousin John David, the 40th lash would kill you. But he was whipped 3 times. He was tough. So, in verse 8, he reaches out to God. Concerning this, I implored the Lord 3 times that it might leave me, referring to the messenger from Satan that was tormenting him. Now remember, Paul's tough. God responded to Paul and said, in verse 9, and he said to me, that's God talking to Paul, my grace is sufficient for you, for power is perfected in weakness. Most gladly, therefore, I will rather boast about my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may dwell in me. Therefore, I am well content with weaknesses, with insult, with distresses, with persecution, with difficulties for Christ's sake. But when I am weak, then I am strong. So instead of him in verse 12, chapter 12, verses 1 through 6, boasting about this, he knew about a guy having a vision about the paradise, how wonderful that was. He'd rather boast about his weaknesses because it gives Christ the glory. It exalts Him. For Christ's sake, for when I am weak, I am strong. Remember the power play. When you're weak, you put your faith in Jesus Christ, you trust in Him, you're not weak. Because He is strong. He is with you. He doesn't leave you alone. He is with you. That's the power play.